what gases or liquids is your
Blood.
valve controlling
It's called
the flow?
blood.
Blood. It's the aortic valve. It's the exit from
valve.
the heart into the aorta. There's
another
a flap there, and the blood going out opens it, and then it stops the backflow. Just like a lot of sort of valves that don't have any spring mechanisms or anything. Just a flap.
Okay, got it. Thank
Just
you.
the flap.
So I want to ask Jeffrey a question. Jeffrey from San
All the way
Francisco.
from-
What are you doing these days, Jeffrey?
Not much of anything.
Okay,
I'm now single.
yes.
Lost my partner of 36 years. And with COVID-19, my social life is going to the
Zero.
grocery store.
Yep.
And I have an acupuncture appointment once a week. And the rest of it is on Zoom.
Whereabouts in San Francisco do you live, Jeffrey?
Bernal Heights, which is south of the Mission District, if you know.
Oh, I love that area.
You
Yeah.
get a beautiful view.
That's nice.
Yep,
It looked like the fires were very close to San Francisco, just across the bay.
right.
And just south of the bay, just east of the bay, just north of the bay, they're surrounded.
So how close would they be to San Leandro?
I can see San Leandro.
Okay,
It's just across the bay.
so it's still there.
Well, I haven't seen flames over there,
All right, all right.
but the
That's
visibility is not great, as you can imagine.
Yep,
So did the Modesto crowd leave?
No, the Modesto crowd's there.
it's still there.
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
Ah,
How close is the fire to you?
We actually probably right now we are safe because
Good.
the closest fire has been contained 97%. So we will like worry about it. Maybe we will get, evacuation order back. I think they get controlled.
Okay.
That's probably a week ago or almost now over 1 week ago. But this new fire, the quick one, is happened last Friday. So it seems like they burn very strong because of yesterday. I think we have very strong wind, does not help. So we just hope today the wind seems like is weaker than yesterday. We hope today can be a good day for firefighters.
I don't think we're
Very
both
scary.
getting
We are both, totally.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Totally.
No, you're,
Elsa, do you have any campaign signs in your yard?
What did you ask?
Do you have any campaign signs in your yard?
I have Black Lives Matter, that's all, and Bernie.
Ah,
I'm leaving Bernie up. But today, I had a little drive through part of Harmony, and it made my heart very happy to see many, many people that I did not know have Biden signs up. And
excellent.
it's the
Wow.
first time I've seen a counter to the many, many more Trump signs.
Good work, Harmony.
They're putting them up.
That's surprising.
Yeah.
And I'm just
And
saying,
they're taking them down too.
I haven't seen anybody take them down yet.
You remember what David Lawrence used to say about Pennsylvania politics? There's 3 million trees between Pittsburgh and Philadelphia, and they all vote Republican.
Pennsylvania, Joe, you told
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
Do you remember what James Carville said about Pennsylvania?
No, it's
What?
Oh,
He said you got Philadelphia in the east, you got Pittsburgh in the west, and you got Alabama in between.
In the middle, right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
Except for State
College is
College.
not Alabama.
the
Robin, how's Louisiana politically?
There's like little spots of blue. So actually Baton Rouge, Shreveport, and New Orleans are consistently Democrat
Heavily.
heavily. I mean, New Orleans is still 60% African American. And so it will never, ever be a red place. So that's reassuring. And we have a Democrat in office for governor, which is unlikely, but true. So
Oh, they don't, well, as yellow dog Democrats go, they don't get much more yellow dog than your guy, right?
We're not on it anymore.
yes, he's a conservative Democrat, but he could be worse. I tell you, ever since the coronavirus, it's better to have a Dem than a Republican.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
Edwards, is like Edwards was far less repulsive than his opponent.
He shot. He's.
Okay, we're trying to get our dog to put his nose.
That
in
Ron
the-
Katz, that
Get up, Roscoe. Get up.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Ross, come on.
He's a dog. Oh, there.
Speak up, Ellen. Speak up.
Marcus, I read your book about the Amistad Rebellion and it was fantastic. I really liked it.
Thank you very much. Books have a way of making you new friends. So
Yeah. I'll have to read you one about pirates next.
everybody.
And another one.
Coming along. Hey,
Quaker abolitionists.
I like the one about pirates. There was a saying in there where somebody got done with their voyage and got onto shore and said,
Press those buttons.
as sailors have since time immemorial, said, I shall have a short but merry life, meaning I'm going to blow all the money. And some of the waitresses I'd work with at the diner, I'd have to remind them of that. You know, they'd be the same way with their tips.
Still get phone calls after publishing that book years ago. I still get phone
Go back street.
They wanna know-
Marcus, you cut out. Say it again.
Say it again.
Yeah, speak up, Marcus.
Okay, yeah, I still get treasure hunters who
The people that are on.
want to know if I have any secret maps.
Oh.
When they ask that, I know that they haven't read the book because I say that pirates don't find treasure. They just want to spend the money.
Don't touch it again, because we're on it.
I always pretend that I do have some secret maps, but just won't tell them.
Nice.
You know what the pirates in New Orleans traded?
What?
People.
Ouch.
That was their thing.
Yep. They didn't need to hide gold. They were hiding slaves.
Ah,
Ah.
I thought you meant the Pirates and the Pittsburgh Pirates. Since you were talking about a baseball trade.
No.
No,
No,
real
no.
ones. This is
Yeah.
not.
Well,
Yeah.
even if you were talking about the pirates, you wouldn't really be talking about a baseball team. Certainly not a major league.
Ooh.
How are the pirates doing this year? Is there?
Oh,
Terrible.
Oh, you must have.
Last place.
Things have gotten so bad, and people are so demoralized in Pittsburgh Pirate fan territory that there was a letter in the Post Gazette the other day saying that it would make more sense for the Pirates to move to a city where a capitalist can be found to bankroll the team and try to put a winning team on the field. Okay. Okay. Fortunately, that was answered by another letter
I don't
to
know.
the editor a couple of days
Oh,
later,
yes.
saying that.
I think we lost people, right?
I don't know.
What's it?
Did we lose people, Bill?
Helena and Jean, are you here? I can't.
I'll put it on a different
They have lost the
screen.
They're on
connection.
a telephone.
I think that bottom
We're
row
on a
has kind of
telephone, too.
disappeared.
But getting around to answering Robin's question, the Pirates so far have won 1/3 of their games, which which is good for last place, but in its way, it's a respectable last place.
Yeah.
Familiar with
The Pirates look good when they do win. So,
my cabin never leaks when it doesn't rain.
yeah, kind of.
Okay, gotcha.
So, John, Can I change the subject and ask about your foot? How are you
Yeah.
doing?
Who
Well, I
does?
had this
Whose foot?
complicated foot operation.
Oh, yeah.
That went well, but there were some complications that developed with the healing of the scar. There was a big incision and it wouldn't close. So we're still kind of in that mode. The surgical part went okay.
Well, there were two incisions. One is beautiful. You can't even see it was there on the foot. And the other one is mostly healed. And now there's a plastic surgeon who's using collagen to heal it.
Mm.
Wow.
Yeah.
Required by an injury, John? Did you injure your foot? Is that what happened?
No, I had
Old
arthritis and none of the remedies was working. So I decided to try surgery. It was arthritic and it was painful to walk,
Okay, I see.
basically. And they have
Johnny
those.
Gay, if you tilt your phone, we can see you. That's
No,
good.
They tried to.
Oh, you
tilt.
tried. That's good.
If you got your phone further away, but I don't think you
Yeah.
can.
No, that's bad. There.
I'm trying to make it.
That's
It
good.
doesn't-
That's
it
good.
It doesn't work.
Good. No.
That's sort of,
Perfect right now.
Leave it.
Okay, take it back.
all that motion sort of looks like those old plane pictures with the astronauts floating around in zero gravity.
I have a question.
Marcus and Wendy told us about a great TV show that if you don't know about it, you will now. It's called The French Village. And if you want to waste a lot of time,
How do you get it?
huh?
What's
You
it
got
on?
it? You can't get it.
What's it on?
HMZ.
Well, and then we watched something, I think it's almost the best I've seen. It's on Sundance. It's called The Bureau, and it's
The Bureau.
it's
yeah.
about the. Have you heard? It's about the French CIA, basically, but it's really wonderful.
Yes, that Bureau is very good. And Weisensee, also on HMZ.
Yeah.
White.
Has anybody seen There Will Be Blood, which is a
The
story?
movie?
about-
You mean
There
the
Will
movie
Be
about the
Blood.
oil? Guy?
It's a
Go ahead,
story-
Mom. What's it about?
It's about
Oh, by
discovering,
Upton Sinclair. It's
making
about
oil.
oil.
making
Yeah, that's
oil,
an old movie.
oil
Daniel
making people
Day-Lewis,
rich.
right?
Daniel Day-Lewis. Yeah, we've seen it.
Yeah, we
And
saw
vicious
that.
was pretty
and
good.
crazy.
Robin, you would like a French Village.
Okay, I'll look into it. I don't know what HMZ is.
It's HMZ is one of those cable providers. You have cable? No.
Nobody under the age of 60 has cable, but I bet I can get it. You can get cable on the internet, so I'll look it up. French
But
Village.
the Bureau,
Robin, you can get it through Amazon.
Okay.
Yeah. And what it basically does is it starts off with the German invasion of France, and it takes you through the entire war. It's 36 episodes
Oh, my goodness.
in a village.
I
And so
see it. I've just discovered it.
there's
I-
lots of interesting issues about collaboration and the Gestapo and the resistance and the Communist Party. And I think it's really, really good.
All right.
I will check it out. It says there's 7 seasons of it. That's a lot of seasons.
Marcus and I just finished it, and I'll say it was quite an education.
Is it a French production?
It's
Yeah.
French, yeah.
Oh yeah, I should watch it.
You'll really enjoy it, yeah.
Wendy, did you see The Bureau?
No,
Oh, it's apparently it's extremely popular in France, given very
I've heard
high
of that.
marks.
Yeah, yeah.
It's really, really good. So we both recommend it.
Okay, A French Village and The Bureau. My scholarly attention has recently turned to Maine and
May?
the Franco-Americans, and who knew that Massachusetts and Maine have Franco-Americans that are really interesting, and I had neglected this important population for my entire career until very recently. But
And what made you interested now, Robin?
what made me interested is that there was a journal that is written by Franco-Americans, and they needed a Louisiana contact, so they asked me to be a part of it. And so they're similar to Franco-Louisianans, but different, and they're just an interesting linguistic minority that they're just up there in Anglo-American land,
Right.
in New England, and they're a part of it, but they're kind of different. There's, traditionally they were seen as, like many immigrants, these totally foreign alien people speaking French, and they've assimilated really well, but they're also worried about losing their French identities. So,
Do you know where they're located primarily?
Waterville?
yeah, in the northern part of Maine, because
Yeah.
it's sitting right up
The-
there. But they're
And what-
everywhere. They're all over. They're in Massachusetts, Rhode Island, Maine.
French was Jack
In
Kerouac
Waterville,
back
Maine.
until he was 6 years old.
In Waterville, Maine, there's something called the Maine International Film Festival that we used to go through every summer. And they had a documentary about the French in Waterville. Waterville is, by the way, where our ex-governor, what's his name, the right winger comes from. And
We've forgotten his name.
and
purposely.
and after the film was over, we went over to the little pizza parlor in the little square that it was in, and there were all the people who were in the film were there in the having pizza.
Yeah.
In the film, they tried to speak French that they had learned when they were kids, but they hadn't used it in 40 years.
Right, right.
And they
They're
were a
forgetting
little
it.
bit rusty.
Right, right.
And they didn't really know any French in the restaurant. But
Well, Dick, I bet they did know some French, but
Right.
On my last visit to Maine, I discovered that there's a town called Paris, Maine. And it was very surprising to me. But it's spread out, so there's North Paris, South Paris.
Yeah.
It's also North China and South China.
Yeah.
In
Fifth, sixth,
Maine.
and seventh are in
Well,
the-
Robin, we are going to formally invite you to Maine.
I'm
And
dying to
next
come.
season-
I can't believe this I have never not traveled this much. I mean,
Well, we have a bedroom that you could stay in. You can have a whole half of our house.
Yeah.
next summer, yeah, Louisiana in the summer, it is painful. It's 98
And
degrees
Maine is
today.
beautiful. And
Yeah.
we have our own water to swim in. A
Cold.
cove.
Is it very cold?
Salt
that
water
much?
with
Salt
kayaks.
water, kayaking, yep.
Sounds
We'd
good.
love to have you visit.
Well, maybe we'll do Joe's real birthday party next year in person in Maine.
Oh, that's an optimistic view. Sure, that's. Marcus and Randy, are you? Looks as if you're back in Pittsburgh. Were you anywhere else in the last few months? Or are you stuck close to home like the rest of us?
Well, we were in New York 3 times.
Oh,
And
okay.
we also went out to Fire Island for about 3 weeks, which was really nice. It
Mhm.
wasn't exactly what it always is, but it was still nice to get away. And, we've been in New York and we've seen our daughter Eva. She's a New York City public school teacher. So
Yeah.
we've been following all of that stuff with the union and
Yeah.
de Blasio and,
Yeah.
he's sort of pushing the teachers back to work. The UFT is falling apart as far as I can tell. So all of that's just been really, really interesting to sort of follow, the union politics of all of that.
Did you
She's
say
at-
the
What?
UFT is falling apart? I was under the impression that for the first time in 50 years they're on the right side of the big issues.
I think that Mulgrew, who's the head of the UFT, has not really stood up to the city or the state. And there are a number of radical caucuses in the union, which is great. Eva's gotten real active in one called MORE, which is movement of, something educators. But it's it's not been a good situation. I don't think the schools are ready to reopen. And the buildings, the physical plant is not in good shape. You know, the public schools have been sort of progressively defunded over a number of years. And they're really sort of forcing everybody back because there's all this business pressure. So, you know, come September 21st, there's going to be 1.1 million kids, and 75,000 teachers on public transportation. And frankly, I just can't imagine how that's going to work.
Our little granddaughter, Nina, has to now commute from Midtown Manhattan to the Bronx High School of Science. And I don't know, I'm scared.
It's very worrying. I mean, I cannot imagine how a subway car, I mean, all of us know what the subway looks like during rush hour. I simply cannot imagine how you can keep a subway safe, or a bus for that matter.
Absolutely. Yeah, well, they've put off school for a few weeks. I think they're really trying to work things out there. They don't know what to do.
They have no
They should
money.
cancel school.
Yeah, they should just go remote, I think.
Yeah,
But
they really have to.
They will. Let's hope
I think they
do it.
will end up doing that.
Our daughter-in-law used to teach in New York in LaGuardia, but now she's started teaching in a private high school in Long Island.
And she's teaching
In a tent.
Outdoors in a tent.
Some of you
Yeah.
know in Sanborn, and her daughter is now teaching in Brooklyn in a private school. And what she showed me was a big tent. That's where they are, in a tent. Is there a proliferation of these private things happening, or is it always been?
They look good, don't they?
They look very well.
Well, I think the private schools have more land around the school building often, and so they can move the kids outside. But, you know, the public schools don't have very much. The inner city public schools really have very little, unless they're going to move the kids into the street, which obviously is ridiculous. I don't know how they're going. I mean, they can't teach outside. And, yeah, it's crazy.
And when November comes around,
it's a crisis.
It's crazy whatever you do though. If you have poor people living children at home where the parents aren't there, or the parents are there but have, it's pretty awful no matter what.
Yeah, it's true.
For affluent children at home with affluent parents, then that could be maybe okay, but
it's interesting though, Ron, because they did a survey in New York, in the city, and it was primarily the poorer Black and Hispanic parents that did not want to send the kids back.
Interesting.
And, yeah, they made this big fuss at first trying to pit the parents against the teachers.
Right.
And then they did the survey, and it turned out that, it was not the affluent parents that were wanting to send, they were willing to send the kids back, but it was the poorer kids that they didn't want to send back. So I don't know, it's complicated business. And the whole thing, of course, is complicated by the fact that a lot of poorer families, it's multi-generational family.
Right.
So if you've got the kids going out to school, there is someone actually to watch them at home, like
Right.
a grandma or a grandpa or an aunt or whatever who's
Unlike, more commonly, many families just have one or two parents and children.
But lots of grandparents work too.
Yeah.
So anyway, Ron, I wanted
You
to
hold that
ask
for a
you and Cindy, have you moved?
Nope.
Okay, because the last time I saw you guys, you were looking at houses.
Yep, and then it all stopped.
And it all just stopped.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, what can we do with this virus? I mean, can we sell repair, sell our house and look around in Pittsburgh?
So, I mean, houses are selling, oddly enough. But I didn't know whether you had made the move or not, so.
No, we
Okay.
haven't traveled anywhere. We haven't had anyone in to fix anything up. You know.
We want to, and we're going to. And actually, real estate agents have told us that the price is going up in where we live. Because people are moving out of the city.
No, you know what it is? They're lending money cheap. You can get 2.50 interest rates on 15-year mortgages. So the real estate market is bizarrely like going gangbusters in Louisiana, and in New Orleans in particular, it's really odd because no one has a job. So the service and hospitality industry is decimated. But still, the housing market is going great. It's weird.
I've heard the same thing about Maine. In our neighborhood, houses go on the market, and the next day they've had 20 bids, $15,000 or $20,000 over the asking price
Well, here?
in cash.
Yeah.
People from New York want to get out. and
New
move
York,
here.
yeah, Boston, yeah.
Yeah.
Blame it on the New Yorkers. Coastal elite.
Well, so listen, Joe, do you have anything special to tell us or to say on your birthday?
Any wisdom from the 80-year-old?
Yeah, wisdom.
Yeah,
We want wisdom.
yeah, my word of geriatric wisdom is try to is do your best to keep do your best to keep from being old and feeling old. That to my great distress, I have been feeling that damn it all, there is some difference between being in your 70s and being in your 80s, even though for me to have made it to 80 is something I think is unprecedented in my family history, so far as I know. So so I should be feeling real happy. About turning 80, and to an extent, I guess I am. Okay,
Well, you're looking good, Joe.
But I sure do feel a lot older than I felt a few days ago.
I actually have a tonic for everybody. What we all need to do is to go out and go to a good demonstration.
All
right.
All right.
You know what, Joe? You'd feel like you were 25 again. I know it.
Okay.
Wear a mask, though. Wear a mask.
Wear a mask.
The new generation of activists in Pittsburgh, right?
Yeah, there was a demonstration about 2 blocks away from us at the mayor's office. Emily, there, she knows
Yeah,
about
Emily, you were going to say something. Hi,
Yeah.
Emily.
Hi, the Order of the Phoenix is the Facebook group of millennial activists, and all you have to do is ask to join, and they keep you up to date with where all the demonstrations are and what's happening. And yeah, Hi, glad I made it.
Where do you look to find that out? I didn't hear that.
On Facebook, it's called Order of the Phoenix. It's about, it's the millennial activist protester group that's functioning here in Pittsburgh.
Okay.
You can join it. They'll let you in for sure.
You don't have to be a millennial.
No, and they're working on voters' rights. They're working on door knocking and protesting. It's a good group.
All right. Did you do it?
I'm just doing the stuff I can do from home.
Okay.
I'm not going to protest.
Okay. Well, you could tell us about the things you do from home. What do you do?
Well, I send out text messages
Right.
and postcards, and they are distributing yard signs, and you can tell them who might like to have one, things like that.
Okay. Yeah. Gotcha.
There's a group for women in red areas of Pennsylvania, I've heard.
What areas?
Red, you know, like Republican areas of Pennsylvania.
I don't know.
Just encouraging each other. That's a Facebook group too. And they show people, you know, putting up signs and having little meetings and, you know, stuff like that. It seems like a very good thing. You know, to give people a heart who are feeling isolated.
I just saw your email, John, that you were having trouble connecting.
Well,
You
I'm
did
glad
it.
to see the rapidity of modern communication, but we figured it out. Yeah,
Yeah.
because they also said it was embedded, so
Yeah,
I
it's
just punched
it's
everything.
embedded.
But yeah,
Elsa called me up this afternoon and said, Gay doesn't know what to do to get onto Zoom. And my response was, I teach this all day long, every day. She'll figure it out. Just
You click on the link.
Follow the prompts. Yeah.
you don't know how backward we are, Robin.
no, but it's a big
Yeah,
lie
we
that
do.
students are good at it. Students are not good at technology. There's just there's a digital divide out there, and the very elite and the very impoverished don't have to do this all day, but the people in the middle have to.
That's right. You have to do it for your classes. Huh?
Yeah, whether I like it or not.
Wendy and Marcus, are you teaching now? Ron? Who's teaching?
Ron
I was
disappeared.
teaching, Ron.
Here he comes, he's coming back.
John's asking if you're teaching.
I'm teaching, yes, I am teaching. In fact, I have to do some preparing tonight.
And you're doing it by Zoom or live?
Yes, Zoom.
Zoom.
I wouldn't do it any other way. My children insisted that I do it by Zoom.
Yeah, that must be hard.
I was scared to death of it, but it's actually not too hard at all. You know, it took me, I got some sort of a tech guy, and he gave me a little bit of instructions for, you know, met about 5 times, and I learned it. It's not too hard. It really, it's, you
How
know.
big are your classes, Ron? How many students do you have?
Well, this semester, neither one is large. One is 20 students, the other is 10 students.
And you feel like you can connect through the screen?
Well, that's a good question. You know, I do a lot of email back and forth with them.
But you still get the
And yes, I mean, you know, there's this thing you can do. You can do breakout room.
Damn.
Oh, the breakout room, yes.
So, actually, I was doing that. You know, lecturing is passé. I no longer really do that much anymore. I mean, I'll talk informally at the beginning of a class. This is before this Zoom, this virus. Before that, I no longer lectured in the old-fashioned way. I talk informally for the first third of the class or so, or 40% of the class or so, and then have them break it into small discussions. This is before this breakout thing. You know, it's just, and then bring them back together again. You know, I give them questions to discuss about the documents. You know, so it's really, it's all right.
Yeah, the breakout rooms are good.
How about you?
I have had a friend who used to say that the lecture has become obsolete since the work of Gutenberg.
Good one.
You know, I mean, I have, I don't know. Robin, you're teaching, right?
I teach in person and I teach on Zoom. I teach in an ungodly number of classes. And so some of them are in person, some of them are half on Zoom, half in person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How many courses, Robin? How many courses at one time?
5.
Hi.
Oh.
Five per semester?
Yeah, more or less. It depends.
Oh.
That's better than how it was. Didn't they have you doing 7 once? Yeah.
Oh my.
So
Are
Rob,
things getting better or worse?
In Louisiana, oh, it's always getting worse.
Oh.
Robin,
But
how many students is that all together?
Well, that's the question. That's why sometimes I have to teach so many. So they want every professor to have about 100 students a semester. And so I'm usually below that, but it's just all these little classes that I have to prep. So I usually have 80-ish.
Are you still teaching a class in graphic arts? I mean, graphic novels?
I haven't taught it for a while, but
Okay.
yeah. So that
Yeah. Yeah.
Wendy, you're still teaching?
Yeah, are you teaching?
I'm off this semester. And
Okay.
I'm so glad because, we went on to Zoom in March and I actually found it was really frustrating to try to connect with the students. And I already knew them quite well because I had been teaching since January. Now, I'll go back in January again, but I can't imagine what it's like when you're meeting them for the first time through a screen. It's just horrible.
Odd, for sure.
No, I agree. I mean, in the spring, I was teaching the kids, for half the semester, and then we changed, and that was all right. But this is less personal. But what I'm trying to do to make up for it, now, which I can do in a way that Robin couldn't because his number of students. I have a small number of students. I'm having them submit response papers every week. And so, and I respond to them literally. So that they're interacting, relating to them. It's
doable. If you can get a rapport with students, but it is so important, those breakout rooms, to put them together because I do think they learn from each other and learning is social. And so, there's not really that, I'm a facilitator more than a lecturer teacher. And so I make it work, but yeah, it's not ideal. And maybe the in-person touch will be more valuable after this pandemic, that they'll say oh, university is not just making it through classes, it's being there and knowing people and having
It's going to football games.
It's going to football games, exactly.
Well, it's unfortunately just that impetus that's led to a sky-high outbreak at the UW of Madison.
Uh-oh.
Oh.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, terrible.
Oh, really? Madison opened up again?
Yep.
So they went back to, full, dormitories and in-person classes and all this stuff. And that lasted 2-3 weeks. And now no classes have been suspended this week. They start again next week, all virtual. 2 different residence halls are completely quarantined. And we had 1,500 cases of positive COVID-19 in the last 24 hours. 400 of them came from downtown Madison, where the university is.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah. Pitt's open too. It'll be interesting to see what happens at Pitt.
Yeah.
I think Penn State had a big, a new spike because of the students interacting. You know how they do there. They run around the streets and shake the street lights.
We read about a big party at East Hall that had to be broken up by the State College police.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy.
I heard of a strange thing, which is that in some places they're telling students who have COVID not to go home, to stay in place, because they don't want the students who leave to go back and infect their families and communities.
Right.
At Tulane, they have rented out a huge hotel. So if you're a Tulane student, you can go stay in a nice hotel if you have COVID. And it's kind of a win-win for that university because they can keep the tuition from the students, and the students are all very happy in their hotel, quarantining for 2 weeks.
No, and sure enough, there was a UW student today who was just like, I don't see where it's going to be productive for me to spend 2 weeks studying in a dorm room. So I'm going back to my home. And I'm just like,
Hi, Elaine.
Hi, Elaine.
And hi, Eric and Tina, driving along.
Hi. Oh, Eric and Nina are there too. Hi, Eric and Nina. I don't see you.
Sam. Yeah.
They're on the road, aren't they?
They are on the thing. They do-
Are you going back to State College or
Oh, that's right. You can do it.
from State College?
They're
Eric
going
and
back
Nina.
to State College.
So how's New Orleans?
Oh, it's not doing great with this recent COVID thing because the economy depends on tourism and travel, and people can't travel. So
Yeah.
it's in a situation. Yeah. But otherwise, you know, same old, hot, sweaty.
Wonderful.
Did they cancel Mardi Gras?
They will not cancel Mardi Gras. That is not happening.
Oh,
Yeah, that's like sacrilege, Mom. You can't say that.
Yeah. They'll scale it back a bit, but they're not going to cancel it.
Wow.
Besides, you have to wear a mask at Mardi Gras, so it kind of goes well with a.
yeah. Yeah, but don't no one stay any 6 feet from each other.
You know, yeah, no one's gonna stay 6 feet from each other. But I was in the thick of it on Mardi Gras Day, packed in there. No COVID.
Yeah.
Oh, no, it's not like everybody gets.
Yeah, it's not like everybody gets it. I mean, no, it's not good.
Besides, the hot costume this year and for Halloween is going to be a hazmat
My
suit.
back is not holding up.
Okay.
It works out.
Well, my back is not holding up on this uncomfortable chair. So I am going to go and leave Phyllis to her cooking.
And I'm going to wish our very old, dear, wonderful friend Joe happy birthday. Many more.
Name. Well,
We
And
first
we
met
go back a long way.
61
How many years do y'all know each other?
Yeah, 60 for me and 61 for him.
it's been,
Yeah.
Okay. Well, goodbye,
So
everybody.
happy birthday and goodbye, everybody.
Bye,
Be well.
Bye, Phyllis. Bye, Dick.
Bye, honey.
And Robin, the way the coverage you achieved from Maine to Pittsburgh to Madison to New Orleans.
To San Francisco, to Modesto, yeah.
So that's
I
very.
know.
You did a great.
I kept pressing Delta for the English contacts, but
They didn't make it.
And Cindy.
Joe, what's your word on the current Labor Party?
What's your word on the current Labor Party?
In Britain, they're in bad shape.
But then they have been for so long.
I'm sorry, but that's the
I think
word.
you're right.
But they got rid of Corbyn. Wasn't that a good move?
Although,
You're not hearing her. She said wasn't a good move with Corbyn.
oh, well, yeah, it certainly, yes, it was. No, they did to Corbyn what the Democrats did to Bernie Sanders.
Yeah.
They're doing hard, bringing down one of their own, took precedence over taking down the opposition. Just it's very distressing.
well, kids, I have to call it. I gotta step out. We have a weird situation where there's a spare dog in our house.
So do we all the time.
Joe, I'm going to say goodbye too. And I just want to wish you all the best. We love you and we hope to see you soon.
Okay, defend the product.
Wendy.
That will happen.
And Robin, it's great to see you also. It's been a long
Come down and visit.
I
Thanks,
know.
Robin,
Thank you. Bye, guys.
Robin, thanks for putting this together.
Yes.
My
Thank you.
pleasure.
Yeah, you did a good job with it, Rob.
Okay, let's hear.
He did.
Mr. Robbins.
Birthday, Joe.
And if you go to New Orleans, I will tell you, Robert and John will show you the best.
Show you.
Give you the best tour.
Yes, literally, yeah. Absolutely.
All right.
Okay, Joe,
I'm
take
gonna end
care.
the meeting.
Okay, well,
And Jeff, if you'd like to get email some back and forth or something, I haven't seen you since the 70s, so I'm glad to see you.
Jeffrey.
good.
Elaine, did you have a nice camp talk before this?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Good. Okay. I'll try to join sometime.
Okay.
Okay.
Elaine, is it on
Bye-bye,
Zoom?
everybody.
What?
Bye.
That's this.
Bye.
Okay. Au revoir, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Glad you
Over.
came. Thanks
Yep,
for coming.
thanks so much for coming.
Emily too.
Okay,
Yeah. Did Emily
make
go?
it my day.
Well,
I'm not sure I know how to get off.
I will end the meeting, so
Okay.
Look where
I,
It's Hotel California, John.
Huh?
It's Hotel California.
You can check
Hotel
out anytime
California.
you can check out anytime you want, but you can never leave.
Yes.